Hello, we are going to do a overview of Acemapp. We're going to look at a couple of different screens and try to briefly hit on some of the documentation that you're going to be uploading. So I will show you how to get to this screen in just a second, but I want to make sure that we understand a few things about Acemapp before I kind of show you how to get through it. So if you're already got your Acemapp link, you should have signed in within like 48 hours, and then you can start uploading your documentation. So I'm going to zoom in on this so you can kind of see everything to the left. But this would be your screen that you'd actually go to start uploading. The screenshot I took and I'm going to be using today, this person uploaded everything that you see a green check mark on means it's been accepted and approved. So on this left side here, we have several things. And I'm going to go through each one and tell you, what's important and all that. So if you're coming in the fall or spring courses, you're going to be getting an influenza or a flu shot. That's why this one kind of has this little dull dash here. This person may have not had to get that if they were in the summer courses. So, but this is where you would go. So you would actually select where this states 2022-23 annual influenza, and you'd be able to upload that document right there. Your BCI background checks, and you've got a BCI, an FBI, and a regular background check application. So when you go get your background check, there's going to be paperwork you fill out. You put your information on it, they sign it, they keep it. However, what we want you to do while you're there is take a picture of it on your phone and upload that to the background check application. That proves to us that you went, you had your background check done, and that's the actual paperwork that you received that day. The BCI and the FBI is what's going to get mailed to us once it's completed, and we will upload that later in the course once that is received. That gets mailed to us. It does not get mailed to you. So we will receive that. We will give that to you or a copy of that, and we'll upload that onto Acemapp together. The BLS portion, that's going to be your BLS or your CPR card. If you have a card, that's great. You can upload that if you would like to. However, you are going to obtain a CPR card or a BLS card in this course because it is part of the curriculum. And so we don't have you upload that right away because we know you're going to be getting that anyways. For the EMT course, you do not have to obtain a drug screen. That is not something that we make you do in this course. However, if you are planning on moving on to the paramedic program, you will have to receive a drug screen before being accepted into that program. The next few things here, so your hepatitis B, most people get all of their Hep B vaccinations when they're a kid. If you did not receive those or did not receive the appropriate amount of those, that's okay. We can figure the hepatitis out. So if you've got all of those, you just select this area, you upload your documentation. There should be 3 different Hep B vaccinations to have the full panel done. If you only have 2, that's okay. We can kind of write you off on the Hep B. We do always recommend getting your vaccinations up to date when you're dealing with any kind of strangers' medical care, just because they're not always truthful. So the hepatitis B, if you don't think that you have that or you don't have that, go ahead and upload those. And if you don't, go ahead and talk to us when we start chatting if you have questions about Acemapp. Your drug screen, again, this is paperwork for that drug screen. That is not something you have to do for the EMT course. The next thing listed here is the physical exam form. Everyone has to get a physical before being accepted into the course and being able to attend right time and clinical time. If you have a primary care physician, you're going to take the paperwork that is offered to you from us, take that to them. They're going to do a physical and they're going to sign off on it. If you do not have a primary care physician, you can go to any local Minute Clinic. You can go to places like Walgreens, Rite Aid. They have medical staff there that can do a physical there. I recommend, if you do not have a primary care physician, and even if you do, to get those scheduled pretty quickly. we can't really wait on this paperwork. The next thing listed here is MMR, measles, mumps, and rubella. This is not something that we can kind of waive on, so you will have to have that. Most people have that done, before adulthood, usually before you go to school. The medical waiver form is something that we're giving to you. That waiver form just states, you understand that if you get hurt or if you're out there in the field or you're in here doing lab, that is not on the fault of the school, that you know what you're signing up for, and you state that you're capable of doing those things. Once you sign that, you can just directly upload that. It's not something you have to wait on. Your Ohio EMT card, of course, you do not have one of those yet because you have not completed the course. So that will just be red or blank, which is not a big deal. The statement of non-conviction is a paper that we give you. It lists all of the convictions that could be a potential problem when going into this field. If you do have a conviction that is listed on there, go ahead and mark the conviction. You can still upload that. Make sure you sign it and date it, but you do need to reach out to us to be sure that we follow the correct steps in order for you to be successful in the course. TB, everyone has to have a TB test in this class because we will be going into the hospitals and seeing patients. So if you have not had a TB test, a 2-step TB test in the last 12 months, you will have to receive that. If you have gotten one and don't have the documentation, you'll have to get another one. So if you have a primary care physician, go ahead and start that process. The same time you go in to get your physical, be sure that you start your TB process. It has to be a 2-step process. If you do not have a primary care physician, you can go again to any Minute Clinic, Walgreens, Rite Aid, things like that. We also offer other vaccination clinics that are usually cheap or free of charge that are listed in the paperwork that we offer you. Your TDAP, this is one that some people, if you've been out of school for a while, usually have to re-up. It's not a big deal. It's a 1-step process. This is another thing that's really for your safety to make sure you have this before getting into contact with any patients. One of the last things on this list is your varicella, which is just your chicken pox. So for some of the younger people in the course, you probably have been vaccinated against varicella or chicken pox. So you have that documented. However, for some older people in the course, we did not have that available to us when we were younger. So you may have just gotten the chicken pox. And if that is not documented that you actually have the chicken pox, you will have to actually get a varicella vaccination, which is actually not bad because it can assist you with not getting shingles and things like that. If you have no paperwork, you have no documentation that you've had any of this done, what we recommend is that you get your titers drawn. TITER, your titers drawn. And what that does is they do some simple blood work. It's going to come back and show that you either have this in your, in your blood or you don't, meaning you've been vaccinated or you haven't, or you have enough of it available, in your blood work that it states that you are still vaccinated against it. And then if it comes back that you're not, you just get a booster and it's no big deal. So what you have to do is, again, if you go see your primary care physician, you are going to tell them, hey, I'd like my titers drawn. I have to see if I have immunization against these things listed here. And I'm showing you them and it's listed on the paperwork we give you. Most of the time, things you won't be vaccinated against is going to be that TB. So you still have to get that done. And then if you do not have a primary care physician, you can get your titers drawn again at most Minute Clinics. So you just have to call them up, ask them if they do it, go in. If you don't have insurance, it's usually pretty cheap and simple to kind of find someone to do it. If you don't want to go through all of that, you can always go to the health department, see if they can find your records. For some people, it doesn't take that long, especially if you were born here. If you're out of state, it may be quite a process. Not all states actually hold that for longer than 10 years. So that's almost everything. The last thing on the list here is going to be the COVID-19 vaccination. At this point, we really don't have too many issues with this. Most people obviously are you've had it recently, and that's what I mean by not too many issues. It's not like you need boosters if you've gotten those. in the way that they were offered. You're just going to upload a picture of the vaccination card, and you're going to place that, in the upload the box. So that's everything listed here with a really short, brief explanation of what you're going to be looking for to upload in those areas. So the other thing I would like to do is I want to show you like a really brief overview of Acemapp. So the way I got to this is, so this is what your dashboard is going to look like, your actual dashboard of the front screen. So it's showing you all the same things we just talked about, except this is where you would go to kind of upload those. So you would manage requirements. So you would select that and then upload the documents once you get there. Other things you have to complete via Acemapp is going to be these module or assessment materials. There's 5 modules. You have like a course, and then you have a test. You have a course, and then you have a test. You get 3 chances to pass that test. 3 on some of them, 2 on others. Essentially, all of these assessments are safety related, pathogen related, even like physical safety, HIPAA requirements, because you are going into people's homes, you are going to the hospital setting. So you do have to have these completed. So all 5 of your assessments or modules have to be completed, as well as all of these healthcare requirements need to be completed by the date that is given to you, like the due date given to you, which will be different for what class you're in. So I don't want to give one date because I don't know what class you're in. So if you have any further questions on this, go ahead and reach out. Hopefully this was like an easy, brief overview of kind of what the paperwork kind of looks like and how you're going to document some things.